The views and opinions expressed on Maine Challenge are solely those of the program participants and do not necessarily reflect or represent the views and opinions of Lincoln County Television, its employees, or the producers of this program. Maine Challenge is a production of Lincoln County Indivisible.
Coming up on the Maine Challenge, I speak with two young people, Representative Morgan Rielly and Thea Sweet, about their proposals in the legislature to keep young people in Maine. Hi, and welcome to Maine Challenge. This week, I am thrilled to have with us two extraordinary young people to talk about some of the things that they're doing and in the state of Maine. We have Morgan Rielly, who is an author and is a state representative from Westbrook and an activist and an advocate, graduated from Bowdoin College. And Thea Sweet, and for true transparency, is my daughter and has been a canvasser working on things and has a piece of legislation that she is trying to put through the legislature to involve young people. And so I'm thrilled to have you both here. Thank you so much for being with us this morning. And I just want to say two things. One is, first I want to apologize and the apology is, we've sort of left the world a big mess for you. So people in my generation and the generations before us, we haven't really left you a really lovely path forward. So I apologize on behalf of all of us. And the second thing is, as I ran for office, one of the things that many people are concerned about and worried about is how do we get young people to live in Maine, stay in Maine, be in Maine. And I always said, well, the first thing we have to do is stop asking old people how we're going to keep young people in Maine. So in that spirit, I am anxious to hear what you're doing and some of your proposals. And I want you to talk a little bit about yourself, but first, just so people have a grounding and what your proposals are, if you could just start with a little bit about what you're trying to do and accomplish, that would be awesome. And Morgan, hi and welcome. And why don't we start with your Maine Service Fellows program?
Sure, of course. Again, thank you so much, Betsy, for having me on your show. I appreciate it a lot. I'm Representative Morgan Rielly. I represent my hometown, part of it. Sue Salisbury is the other representative. And one of my big pieces for the 130th is getting Maine Service Fellows passed and funded. And that's a program in partnership with Volunteer Maine. And that would be expanding service opportunities for younger Mainers. I recognize that expanding service is, not the silver bullet to solve all the issues we face, but it is definitely a key component in how we can empower a new generation of Mainers to tackle key issues, create a sense of belonging, and begin to restore trust in our neighbors and also our democracy. So our service fellows will be helping small communities, rural communities here in Maine, and small micro organizations handle the COVID-19 pandemic and its economic fallout. But long term, it all will be addressing issues of housing, workforce development, public health issues such as substance use prevention and recovery, and also mental health issues. And they'll be tackling issues and aiding communities, hopefully for decades to come.
Awesome. Oh, that's great. Great. Well, we're going to get back to that and learn some more about the details. But Thea, let me turn to you. So tell us a little bit about the Youth Impact Commission and what you're hoping to do with that.
Yeah. Again, thank you for having me as well. It's an honor to be on the show. So I have organizing to establish a permanent commission for and by young people so that we can be represented in all aspects of policymaking. Typically, young people tend to be boxed and limited into specific issues, but I really think moving forward it is incredibly necessary to make sure that we are involved in every issue at the table being discussed currently. So the commission's duty is to ensure that young people from all corners of the state have a prosperous, sustainable, and secure future in Maine. It will hopefully promote, coordinate, and implement programs designed to improve opportunities for young people in Maine. And the establishment of the commission essentially is to ensure that Maine has a vibrant future where young people play a crucial role in the economic, social, and political aspects and their experiences here. So that's like the general overview, but the vision is to have more of like a research leg to be able to spread awareness about these issues, connect on a relational level with students and young people that have experiences struggling here in Maine, and really to inspire young people to pursue their ambitions and provide development opportunities for them. And that might look different for young people all across this state, which is why it's necessary to organize on a grassroots level.
Awesome. Wow. Great. Okay. So there's a lot, these are amazing proposals. But I want to, before we get into some of the details about that, Morgan, tell us a little bit about how did you get involved and why? I mean, you're a representative at a pretty young age. Are you not the youngest, I don't think, this time around, are you?
I'm the youngest Democrat. Representative Carlo is the youngest representative. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Well, so still, you're definitely on that end of the spectrum. So tell us, what got you inspired to both run and be involved in politics, but also to think about, sort of beyond yourself, beyond, most young people your ages are really worried about, finding a job and finding a house and, place to live and all that kind of stuff. What do you think inspired you? What was your inspiration to actually be involved and then look at the sort of the big systemic issues?
Yeah, growing up, I was strongly influenced by those who served, like my grandmother running the food pantry in Westbrook, and also the men and women who I interviewed for my first book on World War II veterans. Those experiences really influenced me growing up. And regardless, I mean, I plan on finding ways to serve my community and to serve my country for the rest of my life. And by doing that, like by trying to empower younger Mainers to take up service.
Yeah, awesome. Thea, how about you?
Yeah, so since I was 7 years old, I have been participating in Maine politics and have been extensively involved in political campaigns to support candidates that are bringing awareness to women's rights issues, LGBTQ plus rights, minority rights, and socioeconomic justice. And this has given me an opportunity to talk to a wide range of different people from various backgrounds about the issues that matter most to them. And I really have gained a lot of exposure to these issues that are still prevalent today. But also I'm lucky to have been raised by two politically influential and activists and women who have really given me exposure to what it really takes to lead and organize a social movement. And that passion has always developed throughout my educational experience as well. I just recently graduated with a degree in international relations from Connecticut College. And through that degree, I have had the opportunity to work on youth inclusion through a different country perspective as well. And that was really, really crucial to my development and my passions, as well as kind of understanding a new way to approach youth inclusion, particularly economically, but also politically.
Was that when you were in Morocco?
Yeah, so I had an internship working for a political communications firm in Morocco, and they were launching a national campaign to address youth unemployment. And I was able to see how they were able to organize, conduct research, and reach out to these young people. So that was really interesting. And now I know more about the organizational level, but I still have a passion to also see my peers here in Maine and in the US thrive and be able to integrate smoothly into their communities.
Great. So Morgan, in your proposal, as I understand it, you're going to have young people be fellows, service fellows, in which they can help communities, as you said. Tell me, talk a little bit, if you would, about what I want to say the wrong was that you're trying to correct, or the deficit that you're trying to address with this, in addition to getting young people involved. Like, what are some of the things that came in? Because it's a very, it's a really wonderful proposal to, and it's very well thought out, and it helps. It's a win-win-win, it seems to me like. But tell me, what did you see and say, oh, we got to do something to fix this?
Well, yeah, like one is this program will be paying like a higher wage than a lot of traditional AmeriCorps programming. That's not like, I'm not going against AmeriCorps or anything, but like this will just allow for fellows to feel more comfortable serving, feel more secure, but it will also expand access to those who can serve. Because right now, I mean, there are many people of my generation who desperately want to serve, but are kind of barred by student loans, by how much like traditional service programming pays.
Yeah. Nothing.
So this program looks at addressing that. It also allows for the Maine Service Fellows program. It kind of cuts through some of the red tape, and it allows for a quicker start time to start programs, particularly in areas of the state that typically are overlooked. Another is that it's also really tailored for the state of Maine and really focused on trying to keep these younger service members in the state afterwards.
So it helps with the retention, it helps with community, it helps serving other unserved areas. I mean, it does a lot. And in your proposal initially, how many fellows do you envision starting, when you start?
So this proposal right now is we're looking at doing like a 3-year pilot program, and we would like to start off with 10 fellows per year. And then hopefully from there, we'll be able to expand it to more communities across the state, and then also expand the scope of it, and then also how many service members that we can have. I mean, like long term, I mean, something that I would love to kind of get towards is that like all like Americans have like a service year after graduating high school or college that they could take part in.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. Actually, when I ran for governor, that was one of my proposals, was that we do a service year in exchange for some tuition reduction. So, but I think, I think this idea, to me, one of the things that you talk about that has so much beauty to it is that not only does it provide an outlet for people to be able to serve and help the communities, but it also is that sense of community, that sense of you belong somewhere, that you're part of the Maine scene, and you're part of, because I think even though we have lots of social media stuff, so many people feel isolated. And so Thea, when you're thinking about the Youth Impact Commission, tell me a little bit about what the wrong was, or not the wrong necessarily, but what you saw like that was missing, that you thought, oh, this would correct that.
Well, I think the first is to have a permanent structure within state government that actually, that its only duty is to improve the lives of young people, so that they're not just put at the back of the list, and that they are constantly being checked in on and also recognized and represented in any way that the state can support them, and not just economically, but socially as well. And being able to provide that type of support and that type of ear and listening ear is so important for young people to even start becoming involved in politics. And that's really one of the main reasons, but it's also to provide a direct and coordinated access point for advocates and organizations as well, that is trying to improve the situation for young people and really amplify those voices that and those projects that are already working on these really important issues.
Yeah. You know, one of the things that's always driven me crazy is when we talk about having youth representation. You guys must have experienced this. We have a climate council and we put one young person on there. Or we have, you know, this, even when we try to expand into a new issue, like they say taxes, we put one young person, you know, and it's like, it's just so unrealistic to say, okay, so you're the voice of young people. Like, so here you have at it, you know. And so I love both of these proposals because I think that it does create some systemic inclusion of young people, and to say, not only do you belong here, but you're valued and we value who you are. And you, I mean, it sounds so cliched, but I mean, your generation is our future. And we're not doing a very good job so far, I don't think. So, but Morgan, so tell me a little bit about when you think about what it will take with your peers, you know, so you are unique, both of you are unique in that, I think, in the degree of your involvement. And I know that we had a lot of young people involved in this last election. I know that we have some young people that are interested in serving. But what do you think is the key? What is the way that we can attract young people to stay engaged, to come be involved, and to see government as a possible solution to some of the things that they're dealing with, student debt, you know, all that kind of stuff, and not just say, oh, you know, the system is broken, which it is, but the system is broken and I'm out here, and I'm not going to do it that way. Do you have thoughts about what might encourage, what we could do to encourage folks and to young people to stay involved and be involved as you are?
Yeah, I would say both of our proposals. I mean, Thea's gives young Mainers a seat in policymaking here in the state, and consulting on it. Yeah. That makes it easier to be able to influence policies that can affect from a wide range of areas, from hopefully like addressing, I mean, top issues of concern, of course. I mean, yeah. Climate crisis, systemic racism, things that affect young Mainers here in the state and will for decades to come. I would say our generation is pretty long-term in our outlook, how we look at things. We kind of recognize that it's going to get tougher for a while, but we're willing to do the work, and we're willing to make our state a better place, not just for ourselves, but for the next generation and the generation after that. I mean, also, again, my proposal as well, expanding service opportunities to give people a chance to serve their community. There's so many young Mainers, just young Americans who want to help, who want to be a part of something greater than themselves. And we are always at our best when we have a big national project to work on. And we have a lot to work on, from infrastructure to addressing the climate crisis, to addressing nativism and white nationalism here. Yeah. We got a lot to work on. And there's a lot of young Mainers, young Americans who are willing to tackle those issues. We just need to be given the chance.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. So Thea, can you think of a thing, like an issue that you think, wow, this would really be different, or this could be really different if we had youth voices involved? Can you, and at a serious policy level, can you give an example? Do you have an issue that sort of drives you or that inspires you in particular, that you think, wow, it would be really different if we were, you know, if we had young people involved in this?
Yeah, so definitely foreign policy. That's one of my biggest things. I think that the world would be so different if we incorporated the perspectives of young people, and even our education system right now. What we're learning in our institutions and higher education is so much different than what people who are in high office positions within the presidential administration or the Secretary of Defense, what they learned. And when they went into their particular positions, what they came in with a whole different world view. And some people that are still running those departments today have been involved in making decisions since the Vietnam War. And so I just think that including the young perspective in foreign policy in particularly would just change a whole dynamic of international relations itself. But for Maine in particularly, definitely building a sustainable economy and incorporating youth skills into the policy making processes, and also really functioning on our generation's level, where it's unconventional, and we can utilize our social media skills and our social movement skills even to really uplift what young people do best. And I think that itself will bring in more young people and really make them feel like a part of something, and someone who is really, really involved in these kinds of things. I know from personal experience that once someone is representing from your same cohort, it makes it so much more valuable, because you share similar values and you share that sense of community. And I just think that really, when we tackle every single issue, every issue might be more important to one person than the other, but that is all just fostered through communicating with each other. And if we're blocking off those kinds of bridges, then we're not able to even know and understand what could be truly important to someone, that it would change their lives here in Maine. So I think definitely being open to including young people in all aspects, student debt, education reform, criminal justice reform, climate justice, all of those things is so important, because everyone has their own individual passions and everyone wants to be recognized in their own way. So being able to have that open perspective and not just really box young people into one category is really important into bringing them in the process. Yeah.
It seems to me that part of what we need to do, and I think part of what both of your proposals do for us, is to say you matter. I mean, I don't mean just you two, because you both matter, but young people. I mean, we give lip service, I think, to, oh, we want to have young people stay here. We want to, but to say, no, you matter. Like, we want you here. And so we want your input into policy. We want your input. We want to be challenged. And it seems to me, and I think both of your examples, is that we have to sort of catch up, because the idea of a 9-to-5 job in a box, that you're going to do for 40 years, that's just not, I don't think that's either of your dreams. And I don't think that that's what young people are aspiring to. And so, but I don't think we've caught up in terms of policy and economic development to sort of take that reality into account. And so I'm really excited that to have your voices come forward. So, so Morgan, I'm going to give you a challenging question. So let's say that,
oh boy,
yeah, let's say that we get this done and it's passed, and I can't wait to help you with it, and it gets funded, and we have the first fellows, and let's even get past the pilot project, and it's more expansive. Paint us a picture. I think we failed to look at, so paint us a picture of what that looks like. Just describe like the day in the life of a fellow, or how a community has transformed. Like, what's your vision out there of like the long term that keeps you inspired going through finding sponsors and figuring out how to get this actually done? What's that vision look like for people? Paint a picture for us.
I mean, I'm looking forward to the day when I'm 30, 40 years from now. Hopefully I don't have not gone totally great.
Or bald.
And someone I meet just got out of being a Maine Service Fellow, and how much it's really impacted their life. I think that's what that's when I would know that this program has made it.
That's awesome. It's a beautiful thing. And someone who's been around for 40 years in state politics, those times when someone says, oh, you know what, that bill you passed or that thing you did changed my life, it's like, oh.
Exactly.
Yeah. So Thea, yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead, Morgan.
I worked for Pete Buttigieg, and I might be misquoting this a little. I'm pretty awful with memorization.
Right, that's okay.
But he would often say on the campaign trail that politics is soulcraft. And at the end of the day, the policy that you put forward should hopefully impact those now, but those down the line in a way that makes their life easier and just a little bit better.
Yeah, wow. Imagine that. Imagine if we got to the point where people saw government and government programs as something that was a good in their life, instead of being this broken system that's a mess, that messes up their lives. So thank you. That's beautiful. So Thea, how about you? So let's say there's a Youth Impact Commission and it is involved in tax policy and economic policy and social policy and racism and criminal justice. Paint a picture of what that looks like for people and what that looks like for young people, what a difference it makes. Can you do that?
Yeah. I think one of the most important things is that this commission, which will be comprised of young people, is constantly being a part and overseeing the projects that they're actually implementing. And in having that kind of relationship with the state is really important in just fostering that kind of partnership where young people are actually consistently being in charge of things. And I think that's one of the most important things, and that would indicate a level of success in terms of its functioning. But at the same time, I think that the commission will really thrive when we are utilizing our skills and when we are making information accessible for all young people across the state, and making sure that we are continuously up to date with the current issues at stake, and whatever is being currently discussed is also being simplified through the commission so that it is accessible to understand, and then everyone would be able to know really what policymakers are discussing and deciding on. And I think that's really important because there is such a gap for information sharing itself in the state, and being able to reach all corners and getting that information out there, having representatives from those communities to relay that information and or going directly to them is really what the commission is for, so that people can jump into politics when they really feel connected to the issue. And in order to do that, they have to know what is going on and be actively involved. And that takes a movement. So.
Awesome. So informed, inspired, serving. I mean, those are all where you're headed, and it's just amazing. And it's unbelievable, but we are out of time. So I want to say to our viewers, please follow these young people. Help Representative Rielly. He's going to need help. Help Thea Sweet. They are going to need help. You need to contact your legislators to say, do these proposals, pass these things. Here we have these amazing young people putting forward these ideas to solve this problem that we've all talked about for generations, which is how do we get and keep young people in Maine. You are two shining examples, and I know that we are not, you're not exceptional. You are part of the vision of what so many young people in Maine have, and we want to help you. So in any ways we can, please let us know how we help you pass your proposals and get them going. And so grateful to both of you for your vision, for your tenacity, and for working so hard to make Maine a better place and the place that young people want to live and come and raise a family. And you're both really movers and shakers to make that happen. So Morgan, thank you so much. Thea, thank you so much. Best of luck to both of you. And I pledge whatever I can do to help you be successful. And I've been there a few years, so if I can help you be successful, please let me know. But viewers, please follow these folks, find them on social media, and do what you can to help. Thank you so much for joining us, and thanks for watching Maine Challenge.
Show your support support for Maine Challenge and LCTV's programming. We're all about community. Please go to lctv.org to make a contribution. Your support makes us stronger together.